The story begins with Romy and Jacob making love. After they both say they love each other, Romy quickly runs to her computer, opens a porno in which a man orders a woman to do some stuff, and masturbates without Jacob knowing. We then watch the operations of a warehouse. Romy rehearses a speech to herself and writes notes to her children. She then goes to the breakfast table and talks to them. Jacob shows his wife that he made some changes to her speech. While walking down the street, Romy sees a dog suddenly attacking with anger and pauses. Just as the dog is about to attack her, she is saved by a young man calming the dog down. The young man returns the dog to its owner. Romy, greeted by her assistant Esme, quickly enters the company and begins her speech. Meanwhile, we see the company's AI-powered robots. Returning to her office, Romy asks Esme to call the interns and she meets them. One of them is the young man who calmed down the dog on the street earlier, whose name is Samuel. He wants to ask a question, but Esme dismisses them because his question could be critical of the company's products. Samuel stares at Romy. The interns then are advised to find a mentor and are told they're invited to this week's company party. After her typical day, Romy asks Samuel, the only other person there, to make her some coffee while she is on the phone. When she asks him how he calmed the dog, she learns he carries cookies with him. Samuel tells her not to drink so much coffee in a day, but Romy ignores him and leaves. While Romy is watching something on her phone, Jacob approaches her and wants to have sex with her. Romy shyly admits she wants to watch porn as they do it. Jacob is surprised but says okay, but Romy wants to try something different this time, but Jacob can't keep up. Romy rehearses for another interview and works on her speech. Everyone, including Romy's family, has come to the company party. While chatting with Esme, she watches Samuel out of the corner of her eye. While she's smoking on the balcony, Samuel approaches her to ask for her lighter and tells her he's chosen her as his mentor. Romy says she's not in the program, but Samuel tells her he saw it in the email and clicked on her name, and leaves. While everyone is dancing, Romy, who wants to step aside, watches them from the corner, and her eyes fall on Samuel again as he drops his tie but does not care. While Jacob is talking about work, he calls his wife, who is typing an email on her phone, and they hug. When Romy returns to the office and sees Samuel's tie on the floor during cleaning, she picks it up and goes to her room. She closes the curtains, smells the tie, and begins to put it in her mouth enchantedly. She goes to different beauty centers and undergoes various treatments to keep her body young and vibrant. And in an attention test, she sees altered memories from her childhood and the dog she saw on the street earlier. After allowing her daughters to be photographed in the clothes they want during a family photo shoot, she sends them to their rooms to change into normal clothes. When she arrives at the company, she runs into Samuel in the elevator and learns that their first mentor meeting has been scheduled for a few days later, but she says she doesn't have time. As Samuel notices the scar on her face from the filler injection, she quickly gets off the elevator. She later watches Samuel from her office and then listens to Esme explain their reasons for including the company CEO in the intern mentor program. A few days pass and Romy coldly tells Samuel that their mentor meeting has begun. When Samuel asks how her dream of the warehouse automation system began, Romy snaps and tells him to look it up online. When Samuel says he wants to hear from her, Romy begins to explain. When the conversation concludes with him implying that she wants to be told what to do, she gets angry, gets up, writes her phone number in his notebook, and says they can hold this meeting another time. Samuel blocks the door, preventing her from leaving. He approaches her slowly, and they begin kissing. After a while, Romy tells him to stop, saying this shouldn't have happened, and leaves. We see her spending time with her family. She wakes up at night and sees her daughter Isabel kissing their neighbor's daughter in the pool. The next day, while cleaning the pool, she wants to talk to her about it. Samuel is in a meeting as he sees Romy leaving. He quickly rushes to her, explaining that they haven't had their weekly meeting. When he insists on staying on her way, he finally convinces her to come to their mentor meeting again. Romy quickly and excitedly walks down the street and, in a way she hasn't done in a long time, surprises her husband, who is a theater director. Romy attends a gathering of employees at work, drinking, and focuses on Samuel without really listening to the conversation. When she sees a glass of milk placed in front of her, she realizes he sent it, even though the others don't understand, and drinks it all. As Samuel leaves, he tells her, "Good girl," without no one noticing. Romy quickly goes to her office and stretches out, puts on her outfit. After the play ends, she goes backstage to congratulate the actors she met, and then her husband. However, when she sees notifications on her phone, she tells him she has to leave for work. When she arrives at the office, she finds a note from Samuel on her desk, written for a meeting point. The next morning, she goes to the address and tells Samuel to stop what he's doing, that he's crossed the line. Samuel responds by saying she drank the whole milk. When she repeats her request, but not in an insistent tone, he tells her to get on her knees. He laughs at this, but repeats it anyway. He tells her he's stronger than her because he could make her lose everything with only one phone call. Romy accepts this and nearly gets down, but she gives up, grabs her things, and walks to the door. Then she runs to Samuel and kisses him. Samuel stops her, knocks her to the floor, and like playing, they fight. Samuel stops her, takes her to the corner of the room, and demands she take off her clothes, but Romy refuses. He tells her to sit next to him and thinks about what to do. He tells her to get on all fours, feeds her candy, asks her to take it off, lays her down, and massages her. Well, if you know what I'm saying. Then, seeing her crying, he hugs her and gives her his cloth.
The next morning, they encounter each other in the elevator, but other employees also get in there. Days pass, and she demands to see Samuel in his office. They have sex. He's always on her radar during meetings and interviews. She even finds her in the restroom. She spends time with her in various places and in various ways, all the while making time for his family. After Samuel breaks a plate on the floor, he tells her to clean it up. Their meetings and lovemaking continue in this vein. Romy eats with her family and spends a pleasant time with her husband. She catches her daughter smoking, but instead of getting angry, she joins her. The next day, she returns home to find Samuel talking to his family about his life. Samuel says that she left her computer in the office, and Esma told him to take it to her. He says he can go now, but his family, liking him, refuses to let him go and takes him to their garden. Romy watches them from afar. When she drops him off at home, she tells him not to go near his family again, even telling him they can't pursue the relationship outside of work anymore. When Samuel tries to get out of the car, he finds it locked and asks Romy to unlock it. But as she refuses, he gets angry and finally gets her to unlock it and leaves. We see some footage from the company warehouse. While at work, Romy sees Samuel call her to the rooftop.
When he tells her he wants to be transferred to another department, Romy gets anxious, saying they'll ask questions and they'll fire her if they find out. That night, when her husband tries to have sex with her, Romy angrily confesses that she's never had an orgasm with him before. She goes out and visits the bar where Samuel works as a side hustle and tries to talk to him, but Samuel, through a coworker, tells her to leave the place. Jacob, unable to hold himself back even though he tries to talk about everyday things, asks Romy if she really meant what she said yesterday, and although she tries to deny it now, he cannot believe her. Romy is waiting in a room and Samuel arrives, asks her if she's talked to them about the department change. She's sweating because she's afraid she might get in trouble for this. Samuel, thinking she wants the same thing, threatens her, saying he'll talk if she doesn't do what he wants. He orders her to sit at the end of the table and to say that she will do whatever he wants. Then he leaves. Romy waits for Samuel in the hallway of a luxury hotel, and they enter the room together. Samuel orders her to first take off her panties, spread her legs, and then take off her top. He tells her she's beautiful, hugs her, and calls her baby girl. Romy watches Samuel drink and dance. He puts his hand in her mouth, they kiss and dance together. Romy wants to use her husband Jacob's name as the safe word. Samuel has her lick the milk he's poured into a plate, then licks and kisses her. He dances with her, carries her, and they make love. They talk before falling asleep, getting to know each other better. Romy's daughter Isabel is having a birthday party. Esma and Samuel attend the event and greet everyone there. As the party continues, Romy texts Samuel, calling him to the kitchen. Unable to accept his relationship with Esma, she declares he is hers only. Just as they're about to quarrel, Esma arrives. They panic and drop glasses. Samuel says he came here for help. Seeing it's not needed, he leaves with Esma. Romy calls Esme to her room and tells her that she needs to be careful with Samuel, that he is an intern. Her phone rings, and when she sees that it is Samuel, she goes out to answer it. Romy calls her husband and lies about having to work late tonight. She can't move forward easily because of the wild dancing at the club she enters. She drinks water from a bottle a woman gives her. She sees Samuel from a distance and walks over to him. They kiss, and Samuel takes her top off and makes her dance. He takes her by the arm and leads her to a room where they smoke and talk. Romy asks if he does the same thing with Esme as he does with her, and he says no. When she returns home, she finds her daughter still awake. Isabel tells her she's worried about her, but Romy assures her everything is fine. The next day, while she is having breakfast with her family, Esme comes and tells her that she knows about her relationship with Samuel, but she doesn't want to use it as leverage. She just doesn't want her to see him again and wants her to remain the woman she always saw as her idol. Romy sits sadly in the middle of the living room alone. When her husband approaches her, she tells him that she once had sex with a strange man to fulfill her fantasies. She explains that she can't figure out what's wrong with her and that even going to a therapist hasn't curbed her urges. Jacob can no longer stand his wife's antics and demands she leave the house. Romy, alone in her house, sees Samuel swimming in the pool and tells him to leave. but Samuel pulls her into the pool with him and they kiss. As they go inside, Jacob arrives and is furious at the sight of them. He demands to speak to Samuel alone and tries to take Romy out, but when he sees Samuel's protests, he lunges at him and they fight. Romy tries to break them up, but to no avail. When they finish fighting, she brings them ice to put on their wounds. Jacob doesn't want Samuel to leave and tells him that Romy is using him. At this point, his breathing becomes rapid and it seems like he's about to have a panic attack. He doesn't want Romy's help. Samuel gives him water and tells him to stay calm. When he sees him getting better, he says he's sorry and leaves. We see Esme finally getting the promotion she wanted and becoming one of the company's advertising faces. Romy is disheveled in a room, listlessly smoking a cigarette by the pool. Her daughter Isabel, who comes to visit, wants her to come home, telling her that her father is in bad shape and he needs her. After some effort, she barely manages to convince him. Romy goes to her husband and apologizes to him, saying that everything is her fault. One of the company's senior executives comes to her office and tells her that Samuel has left the company and blackmails her by implying that she had a hand in it, but Romy tells him to fuck off. While making love with Jacob, Romy tries out the fantasies she had with Samuel before, and during this time she doesn't stop fantasizing about him and his dog. The story ends here.